Today we'll be looking at a 9th generation Honda Civic Si. Don't forget to check the video description. I'll have links to everything that I'm using. All right, now it's time to jack the vehicle up, and we're gonna get the vehicle pretty high because we need to do a lot of work underneath it. So we're gonna use a Daytona 3-ton low profile long reach jack. This thing is great, gets under low cars and raises pretty high. So here's the lever to pop the hood. Make sure your emergency brake is on and your manual transmission is in a gear. Right above the Honda symbol in the front, you'll find a latch to open the hood. Make sure to secure it with the bar. And in front of the engine and between the front, if you look down and you use a nice light, you'll see an arrow. And it's not at the edge of the arrow, but you see the gap and then there's a metal piece or metal bar. That's where we'll be jacking the vehicle up in the front. So let's get on the ground so I can show you, but I like to use the Magic Creeper. It's a slidey sort of pad. It makes it easy to move around on the ground when you haven't put the vehicle up on jack stands yet. And so here is the jacking point underneath the front of the car. I'll back out just so you can get some perspective here. And we zoom in. You see how it kind of has like a hump and it has some holes in it. And there's me pointing at it with my Braun mechanic light. That's where we're going to jack the car up in the front. And so we're just going to slide the Daytona in. And you kind of have to eyeball it. It's never straightforward on positioning with jacks. But you just sort of eyeball it and try to match it up so it's underneath the jacking point. And the great thing about this jack is it has foot pedals. And if you're strong enough, you can just sort of push down on it and you can raise it up so it's in the perfect position for jacking up your car. I really like that about this Daytona jack. There's tons of other brands out there that do the same thing. So you're going to put your jack stands behind the wheels, and those are the notches or the jacking points. And put both of them on either side and make sure to chock your wheels. So you've chocked your wheels, emergency brake is on, and the manual transmission car is in a gear. You can use your foot to try to get the vehicle up as far as you can with the pedal, but then you're going to have to yank on the bar at some point. You see how I've angled my US jack underneath those notches, the jacking points, to be sort of above the valley of the jack. And you see the back is already really low, so we're just going to get the front of the car on the jack stand. No notches, just on the jack stands. And we're going to lower it nice and slow. Whenever we do this, we always check the jacks visually, make sure that they're in the valleys, and we shake. We shake the car, make sure that it's stationary, it doesn't move. It needs to sit nicely. Jack there, line it up. You can use the foot pedal on your jack. And then again, put your jack stands in the proper location. And then we jack the vehicle up. Ideally, you have the garage door open if you're working in the garage there. And slide your jack stand in. Again, we're sort of angling it to be right underneath those notches into the valley of the US jacks. And then you lower it. And again, whenever we do this, we always shake the vehicle, okay? It may make some noise as it's settling, but definitely do not get under a vehicle until you have secured it properly. Now this is a Daystar jack riser, I guess you'd call it. Some people just use hockey pucks, but this thing is nice because it actually sits pretty snug on this jack. It's the larger of the two sizes, depending on what jack you buy. And it's not going to fall off, and it has a nice little groove to not damage the vehicle. And now that I can use this Daystar, I can put it under the tow hook, which lines up perfectly. And it gives me an additional 5 inches on a jack that already gives me something like 22 inches of height. And so as you can see, we're going to get it up to 3 notches first, and we do the front, we do the back, until we get up to 6 notches all around. And again, I'm just showing you the jacking point on the back and where you put the Daystar to give you the maximum height. I wouldn't go above 6 notches on any jack, that's just me. At that point, if you really have to get your car that high, you should consider a different alternative like an actual lift. As you can see, these notches are securely in the valleys, of our US jack stands, which I think are the best jack stands available. If you're going to spend money on jacks, get a high quality one. Make sure the car's level. And of course, shake all corners. Make sure it is stable. Next, we're going to lower the vehicle. Follow the steps at the beginning of the video that demonstrated jacking the vehicle up and using jack stands, but just go in reverse. Make sure that the engine is in gear with the emergency brake on, the wheels chalked. You don't want to skip any safety steps here.